Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Kyle Bossman, the Dark Prince of Nerd Media. Joining us this week, Bradley Ellis.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Hey.
Brandon Jones.
Heyo.
And making this all happen, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Hello. Let's go to corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Actually, not a lot of corrections last week. We were pretty good.
Yeah, proud of you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty on point. I did ask the community for any Apex Legends fans to let me know how much they care about the characters. And so the general consensus is, amongst Apex Legends fans, they like the characters. The characters are good, especially the two newest ones.
Okay.
Revenant and Crypto. Good. They have cool lore, cool trailers, cool abilities. Cool. They're well liked.
I have seen the crypto lore trailers. I'm a little briefly caught up on
Did
that.
you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it, yeah.
Yeah. The
Hacker on the run.
The Revenant, the new one, it was kind of cool. They kind of teased and leaked basically a character that was like, oh, okay, this guy's coming up next. And then the trailer, he just gets assassinated by the character who is actually going to be in the game.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
Smash Brothers
it was
style.
really cool, yeah. And then that character in the lore is just dead. The one who was going to get in is just gone. So really neat things. I did go to the subreddit of Apex Legends to see like, oh, how many what's the fan art and cosplay ratio to clips? Mostly clips.
Yeah.
I do think that despite the characters being liked, the primary draw still obviously is
The gameplay.
the game itself. Yeah.
I feel like I saw a lot of cosplay right at kind of the beginning of Apex Legends, but maybe it's petered out a little bit.
I'm sure they still do it.
Yeah.
But that subreddit's all about the clips, baby.
There was I saw an image of somebody cosplaying as the convention center where the convention center was being held. But that was cute.
For Apex Legends or just...
No. Like it was just a cosplay. Like it just made me think people will cosplay anything.
Yes,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Whatever you can dream of. There's probably Kyle Bosman cosplay.
We've seen it.
Jones
Yeah,
has done
we've
it.
seen it.
Yeah,
There you go.
Jones has
There you
done it. I will say though, fun subreddit.
Cool.
Nice little community there.
Did you subscribe?
I did not sub.
Not that fun.
Okay, all right. End corrections music, please. Time to play Tough Bouncers. As we all know, Easy Allies runs the hottest dance club that is exclusive to video game characters in Los Angeles. Miami has one that's a little bigger than ours. Every week, we are given 2 video game characters who we must choose between to... Okay, we're having some weird lighting things in the studio today.
Haunted.
They wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't mentioned it.
The thing is,
they'd notice.
Jones is doing
She
weird stuff, and to listeners wondering why Jones is like humming and acting very distant, it's because some lighting situations were happening.
I'm back.
Yep, he's back. So we have a patron submit 2 different video game characters. We must choose between these 2. One gets in the club. One must go home tonight. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so from Samwise Game Geek, we have the Elite Beat Agents. The world is in trouble, and it's up to the agents to save it, but they can only do that by entering our club. Oh, man. So it's pretty, okay, there's that. However...
That's pretty pointed compared to the other excuses we've heard.
Yeah. Anachronistic Timepiece presents Tom Nook from Animal Crossing. We owe him countless bells, and he'll foreclose on the club if we don't let him in.
No, that's not a... No. He'll...
So do we choose the world, or do we choose our club?
Our club. Obviously.
Our club is in the world, though.
Yeah.
No, we'll be fine.
You're going to say no to the Elite Beat Agents.
Yeah, for Tom Nook, yeah.
Tom Nook has kids he needs to take care of. He shouldn't be at the club.
Yeah. This is not the first time Tom Nook has heard from my lawyer, okay?
Yeah.
This is...
I like him, dude.
Constant shakedowns.
he's a good
Tom
business
does.
I'll admit, I ignored some emails from Tom Nook, but this is not... This is just the way he operates.
So you want to let the Elite Beat Agents in?
I think we have to. I think it's our responsibility.
I want to see the Elite Beat Agents' performance in this club. It's gonna be amazing.
I think they're lying.
Oh my God.
I think they're just being dramatic to
they
try
never
to get
lie.
in.
They never lie.
I think they are. That's quite a bold statement. I'm not buying it. I'm
That
sorry.
they're going to save the world?
Yeah, I'm going with Tom Nook.
They've done it once. Ian, which one are you on here?
I guess the Elite Beat Agents.
Why?
Gotta save that world.
Okay.
It's a lie.
Yeah, I get that.
Even if it's a lie,
I
Tom
like
Nook's...
the world.
He's a...
I was living there.
He's not trustworthy.
You know what? None of you get to play Animal Crossing now.
Ooh.
It's
well,
over.
if that's what's on the table, I
It's
vote
over.
Tom Nook.
I want to dodge some corrections. So Ben, this has been a running correction. The relationship of Tom Nook and the little Nooklings is not ever clear. if they are his children or nephews or simply he just looks after them. They
I like
might
to
just
think
be
they're like
understudies.
nephews.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck style.
Yeah.
I'm establishing headcanon.
And so your headcanon is they are sons.
My headcanon is they are sons. I have Google Docs of my own personal written information. And so when I say there is his kids, that is my own personal collection.
They're probably like clones, right? Like Palpatine.
Oh my God.
Like
No,
Liquid and
like-
Solid Snake.
Like Big Boss.
I mean, they're all clones, yeah.
This is weird though. Our bouncer has been taken over by Soul Edge,
Nice.
Oh no.
and both of them got in.
Oh man.
Whoa.
We can't stop anybody.
Oh no. You say both. The Elite Beat Age is 4 of them.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Both
Three,
parties got
four?
in. It's 3 people. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe
So
they
is-
work together.
Is that Soul Edge going to wreak havoc in our club?
most likely.
Oh no.
I'm going outside.
Yeah,
I'm staying in.
It might be best for us to leave the club behind. Let's do news. We got some bad news this week.
Oh.
Let's not even touch it yet.
Okay.
Because I saw the most joyful thing when I woke up today. Lego Super Mario. Now, here's the way this was revealed. We had a strangest announcement earlier this week.
Game announcement?
It's kind of a game announcement. It's cute.
Not a video
It's not my
game.
favorite way to start a podcast, but it's a fun way to start a podcast. There was an announcement, hey, Super Mario Lego is coming. We'll tell you more about it soon. And I'm like, okay, in a few months. Okay, whatever. And then one day later, here it is, everybody. It is not what you think. It is not, when Overwatch got some Legos.
Yeah.
It's not the Mega Bloks Mario sets that already exist. It's not, the Halo Lego sets. It's not anything like that. It is an integration. This is a partnership between Nintendo and Lego. What is it? How do we describe this to people who have not seen this trailer?
Kyle, it's frustrating because everything that you said was accurate, but you sounded like a pitch person. It is an integration.
Yes. Yeah. But that is what I'm impressed by, actually. That is what I'm actually why I find this so interesting. Is it's not just a simple Lego IP license like they do 5 times a year.
You have a Mario effigy that can scan stuff.
Great word.
And you bounce him off plastic pieces of plastic based off Mario environments, and he gets coins digitally. Mm-hmm. And apparently you smack stuff real hard and knock it over and break your Lego set. So be careful. Though.
Yes, it is so weird. It is
And that's
basically it's like an obstacle course, but it looks like a board game the way it's set up.
Like Mousetrap almost, some gimmicks spinning around and stuff. Yeah.
And the things are typical Super Mario things, like a piranha plant, like a
Yeah,
pipe.
there's what, Kid Bowser or whatever?
Bowser
Bowser
Jr.
Jr.
Bowser, that's it.
Yeah.
Bowser Jr.
Also,
Who's your
not a
favorite?
son apparently. They're apparently no relation.
Maybe not in your
It's a
version.
clone.
Something's going on.
Well, Sunshine did get retconned, so maybe.
Did it?
Yeah.
Good. I don't want
In
Sunshine
Mario
to be
Galaxy
canon.
2, they did it.
What'd they do?
They retconned it,
What'd
dude.
they say? I don't know.
They said, no. That
Sunshine
planet
is a
got
big
destroyed.
game.
So Sunshine was its own separate
Okay,
planet in
got
the
it.
galaxy that got erased.
Just got nuked.
So, like,
okay.
no, let's just do this version now.
Great. Thank you.
That's why I'm surprised you don't like it.
I didn't get that far.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta
Legit to never beat
beat
that game.
Luigi.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So yeah. Okay. So that is what I like about this. Is it's a game. It looks like a foolish game. I can't imagine any child having the patience to not just mash through it if the goal is to get as many coins as.
That's my number one curiosity. Yeah, it's just like, what if I just turn it on and then hit the pole at the end? Am I done, or do you have to get a certain number of coins? You have to do things in a certain order.
Apparently, the goal is to get as many coins as you can before the time runs out.
But even if you can just mash it out, as a kid, don't you just want to see the things light up? Like, who cares?
Yes.
Just light up the things.
That's fair, Ben, and I think that's the most appealing thing about this is our Mario effigy has a very expressive face. He's got LCD screens behind his eyes and his mouth.
Yeah.
Boy, Mario effigy.
And talks and all the the sound effects.
Oh,
And,
and
it
his
looked
chest.
like there was
His chest lights up, too.
a question mark block that did have like a random nature to it, so you don't know what necessarily is going to pop up. Although I imagine, like having like the platform in one hand, Mario in the other, and then the pole like down on the floor. Then you just like boom, slam it on. Like, how'd I do?
Dude,
I
Tournament
also,
night.
I also appreciate in the
That'd be fun.
trailer.
What's he doing?
There's
Playing,
that
I
kid
guess?
in the
I'm not
green
sure.
shirt. Mm-hmm. He like goes hard.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
he's like, it's time to knock over some Legos.
That's how you play Mario, dude.
His full force into it.
I like that it is a toy. I like that here we see Lego meant to be played with. I think Okay, y'all want my opinion on Lego for a second?
No.
Not really.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here's another fresh hot take latte. Jones, anybody on the panel, let me know when you're sick of the hot take latte. When it gets too hot, let me know.
Scorching.
I think Lego is now just a thing to put on a shelf.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be played with. I think
depends
this is,
on the audience.
We're part of the photograph generation. Here, I took a picture of my Lego. I have it on my shelf. I'm never gonna touch this thing.
Yeah. It's like a model.
That's what you do with Gunpla. You do the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like a model kit.
But those are
Lego-
toys. Those are toys.
Got
Lego. Lego's toys. Lego is toys.
I play
Lego's
with
whatever
Legos,
you want
though.
it to be.
Yeah.
Lego is toys.
It could be a model, or you could just build random stuff together.
I'm over here with my action figures.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And so
Why
I do.
not?
I like that Lego Super Mario is meant to be played with. In fact, it would look stupid on your shelf.
But there's always been a press this and the Lego guy flips, or this opens up and surprise, there's a guy down in the basement or something.
They have like RC car Legos that you can build.
Yeah. Technics.
Yeah.
Lego
Bionicle.
Technics.
Yeah.
You're speaking about a
Joints.
different type of Lego. Like there are obviously some things you want to get that are just the statue or just that thing, and then there are other like sets that have fun interactive elements to it.
I just envisioned you at a schoolyard and like some kids just playing with Legos and then you run over their stuff with your Technics.
Yes. Yeah, man.
toys.
This is a
Let me show you a toy. Do you remember the ones that just had like the plastic bottoms, the bases,
Yeah.
right? And they had like a ramp on it, and you just build on top of this base, and you have a
Yeah.
whole cool base.
I still have those.
You're lucky to get a Hogwarts these days.
It's a big.
But, look, they got plenty of Hogwarts out there.
Yeah, you want your Hogwarts, you can get that.
That's what I'm saying. It was like that's the best cool building you can get.
He's a big Lego.
He's a big
He's
Lego.
a big bricky character.
How big is he?
And that's kind of cool. He's like.
6
If you were to
inches.
have your standard Lego brick, yeah, he's about 50 of those, like in a stack.
What?
He's a pretty big.
He's not 50 bricks.
He looked like he was like
Brick's not
3
that
or
big.
4 inches tall. Yeah.
He's certainly bigger than a minifig.
For sure. And that's something that just design-wise for me, there's always like potentially a little bit of disappointment with like, oh, cool, they're bringing that franchise to Lego, neat. And then you see like the little Lego version of it, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily see that character really. Like, you do need something else. Like Harry needs the scar on his head. Like Bart needs the hair, to really kind of smell. That's Bart.
I forgot there's Simpsons Legos.
Right. And so it's interesting that I wonder if that was a concession on Nintendo's part, where it's like, okay, well, we'll do this, but it's got to look like Mario. We don't want literally just like a Lego dude in a red cap and overalls, and then you call that Mario.
Mario.
And so it's neat to see his eyes, kind of glancing around at things. I wonder how automatic that is, if it senses it's close to stuff, or
Oh, I don't think we go that
if he's
far.
just
It is Bluetooth. He's got a
if it
little Bluetooth
idles,
button.
if you just turn him on and just leave him there and no game mode or anything, if he's just like hello, like he'll talk a little bit or
Yeah.
interact
Don't
with
hit
things.
so hard.
Yeah.
Please.
Whoa.
Ow!
My legs.
You clearly have an agenda.
But Jones, why would counter that is how low grade the Mega Bloks Mario sets of the past have been.
There have been Mega Bloks Mario sets?
Yeah. In Mario Kart.
Oh.
Y'all never walked down the toy aisle? What's going on here?
I have
checked
not
the Legos, that's
looked
about
at
it.
those that walked in the toy aisle where?
Target.
Gone, man.
Target.
Okay, Target. Okay, I don't spend. Yeah.
My question is, how disgustingly overpriced is this going to be?
$100.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
'Cause
Release date and price not mentioned.
I love Lego.
Yes.
They are too expensive.
They're so expensive.
How segmented out is this going to
That's
be?
what I was gonna say.
Is this
How
going to be
many
just one
different
gigantic
things?
$500 set, or
Mushroom
am I going to
Kingdom.
get to buy Mario on its own and Luigi, Yoshi or something? Surprised that there's no Peach. Surprised
Where's
there's
Rosalina?
no, because if you're going through the
give it time.
level, it'd be fun to do that with
Roadmap,
potentially
dude.
other characters.
Gotta go through the roadmap.
The way they phrase it on the press release is that it'll let kids go through real life levels
Yeah.
made out of created with Lego bricks, real life game levels. So that to me implies that you'll be able to buy like
More
add-on
levels?
sets
Yeah.
for more
Here's
levels.
the sad truth. We're all
Yeah.
excited for the sequel to Mario Odyssey, the next Mario, the big Mario game to come out on Switch. After we've played with the Mario Legos and after we've gone to Universal Studios, we're gonna be over those games. You're gonna play the virtual Mario worlds? No.
I don't like this
I'm
bit.
into the real ones now, man.
You know that's not
If I want to
true.
experience the mushroom, hear me out. If I want to experience the Mushroom Kingdom, I'm gonna go there for reals, man. I brought up my app and I can see those coins. I'm not gonna in the real world.
Yeah, and you can contract coronavirus.
Right, exactly. At your studios.
This is a nice transition to the next thing we have to talk about, which is E3's cancellation.
Right.
And it's such an obvious thing at this point. It's just, it was bound to happen at the time of recording, right? And it's so weird. When 2 weeks ago, it was not an obvious thing that would obviously happen. When we were talking about GDC, it's like, oh, okay, oh, wow. And now it's just like, yeah, clearly that would be canceled. If they're canceling NBA games, by E3. So yeah, E3 has been outright canceled, not even delayed, not suspended. There will not be an E3 in the year 2020. Though they did say, hey,
Not physical.
Yeah, they did say, E3 in particular, the ESA in their announcement said we are looking way to deliver a digital experience, whatever that may mean. And that's kind of where I want to start, actually, is that... So ESA says, hey, we'll do a digital experience. We'll get eyes on stuff. Meanwhile, the big publishers are probably all going to do their own things. In fact, Microsoft already has committed to that. I think Ubisoft as well.
I think Square recently put out a release, and they said stay tuned for stuff soon or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Konami hologram?
Yes.
Oh man, that was weird.
I remember that because the after credits teaser for that was the Contra Sea.
Yes, it was.
I still think about that. The burning sea is like, oh, that's so hyped up. What is it going to be? So yeah, I think that's the first area to talk in, because that is what will affect our audience the most. People listening to this podcast is that E3 for you will most likely be a bunch of Nintendo Direct style videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Might not matter for people at home, really.
Yeah.
For us, because we won't get to play stuff, actually.
I think that's where it will matter, is you're not probably getting the same level of hands-on impressions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hopefully people release demos or something, but...
On a foolishly basic level, I do want to talk about the difference between a direct style video and a press conference with an audience, because I know Jones has strong feelings about this. Jones, this is going to be a big year for Microsoft in particular.
Yeah.
This is next gen year.
I love an Xbox conference.
Yeah. Tell me what you think is lost between what they would have presented to what will be presented.
Well, just personally for me, the main thing that I enjoy is just the stress involved. It's like when you produce a direct, you can have such a clean announcement. You can really kind of micromanage. And I understand definitely it can be more entertaining to watch those things that are prepackaged. But at the same time, I do like the fact. I think having, and maybe you can speak to this, Ben, but I do think having the people that are working on Devil May Cry 5, seeing them there, seeing them walk out on stage, hearing them, the joy that they get, for example, if this was the year that they were planning on announcing that Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk, he wouldn't have been there. You're mesmerizing, wouldn't have happened.
Right.
That's gone now. That kind of live thing, the smoke, and everybody, wow, look at that, gone. Now we all kind of experience the same thing on our own. So yeah, you do lose a little bit of that magic. And I think just personally also I come from a theater background, so I enjoy the element of all of those people getting together and the energy in the room and kind of gauging excitement by that. I think Ubisoft has done really, really well the last couple of years with how they've handled E3, the stuff that they've, announced. But at the same time, these are still the wacky Just Dance people. These are still the people that had the laser tag show. There still have been those weird missteps. And I think that stuff can just kind of breeze by quicker, if you have a direct, that stuff doesn't necessarily stand out. I don't want an E3 full of stuff like that, but I do enjoy it. Those are some of my favorite E3 memories, or the things that go wrong, or the stuff live that they were like, this is going to slay, and it just completely goes the wrong way.
Oh, I love those too, obviously. I wonder if everything has to be on the same day anymore. I mean, previously it was, we have to get these done. We have to get these press conferences done before the opening day of E3 and people start playing the demos on the show floor. And that's the reason it was stacked over 2 or 3 days. Will these digital experiences all take place over 2 or 3 days this summer?
I'm going to say yes still, because they want attention still on them. I don't think everyone wants to be on the same days now. They don't want to be forgotten by another game's announcement or something like that. Mm-hmm. If you're Ubisoft, you're talking about Assassin's Creed, you don't want whatever Xbox's next big game is to overshadow you or something like that. If they're right after you, you want people to keep talking about you, so they'll space them out like they always do.
So I should take Thursday.
Maybe.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Should they even be the whole month? Should they spread across the whole month?
That's a good question. I don't know about that.
I think a whole month.
If they
is
tie
too
stuff
much.
in with the ESA, actually, like you
Yeah.
can only get this if we do like you pay this amount to watch it. You pay $100 or something, then you could watch it on this. Then maybe.
Yeah.
E3 pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I would pay.
yeah, we'd pay.
So what I think is interesting is the ESA's idea of what they're going to present, because we are talking about the big publishers here, and there are plenty of other games, there are other studios, other humans who show up to E3 who aren't Ubisoft and Activision and EA. And so I wonder if their idea is, hey, if you got some show floor space, we'll just put you up. We'll put you up in our own press conference. And I wonder how you get people to watch that. I wonder how appealing that will be. You know, this is the exclusive of Biomutant. You know, it's in the ESA press conference, and I just wonder how appealing that is. I wonder if anything's lost there.
Day 9 host it.
Sure,
I'm in.
it works effectively. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's gonna be its own PC gaming show. Is gonna be its own weird event now. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. It's all very, very strange, unprecedented, obviously.
I do not have an optimistic, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this as somebody who wants this. I agree with Jones that something is lost with the conferences, something very specific, but I'm not optimistic about the future of E3.
Sure.
I would not be surprised at all if E3 2021 either did not happen or kind of suffered the same, a continuation of the blows that we saw it suffering before the cancellation came out.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say is like, do you guys think that the ESA kind of breathed a sigh of relief that they had an excuse?
Hell no, no. I bet they're
losing tons
panicking
of
right
money.
now
Yeah?
because this was a year to recover. This was.
But it wasn't going to work, right? Like their weird idea about like, let's get celebrities on stage and that'll save us and let's sell more whatever, like didn't seem like it was going to be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Ian. I just feel like the damage taking a year off completely is just so harmful.
Well, and the thing that's really funny to me is like no one needs them to do a digital event. Like that's what the ESA being involved at all. Like if I were Microsoft or whatever, I'd just be like, we'll just put our own thing on YouTube. See ya.
Yeah.
Like we'll put it on whatever their Twitch is called, I can't remember right now. Mixer.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know, like they don't need the ESA at all. Nobody does.
And the thing
If it's
is
digital.
It's not like we're getting on here on this podcast and being the first ones that are saying that. Kind of everybody is having a similar sort of conversation and making different arguments, but that is a sentiment that is being expressed over and over again. I can imagine, you know, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo having very similar conversations.
Sony especially.
Sony especially,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right, of course. And so, yeah, I guess from their perspective, like what is the benefit? What is the benefit that is like getting better year over year?
Yeah. So what I have learned this week from responses to E3 being outright canceled is how valuable it can be to smaller developers.
Right.
Get connections and stuff.
Yeah, they get connections, they get deals. And that's just a wheeling and dealing time. It's so funny, though, that this event doesn't exist without the big players doing big moves and make it largely exciting.
Right.
Then nobody's, if those things aren't there, nobody's drawn to it, and then it's harder to make those deals. It's harder to be a small game, getting attention and getting to shake hands with people, big people. If, you know, those big people aren't interested in a big event. It's so weird.
But maybe this is naive, but then if that is a vital function of E3, could that, you know, transition into other things, right? Like could GDC, where that already happens, could that happen even more at GDC with the cancellation, you know, theoretical cancellation of E3? Like wouldn't, hopefully,
Other
you know,
events fill the
optimistically, that hole will be filled and there will be opportunities like that.
The idea being publishers just won't suddenly just stop buying games to publish, that they will still seek out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's especially going into a new generation.
Yeah.
And from a publicity standpoint, you already see this kind of thing happening to some extent with the Devolver stuff where they feature smaller things, but then especially with the kind of funny press conference that they did that just featured like a whole bunch of indie stuff that got their trailers out there, you know? So it's like independent things for the publicity side, like the press conference side for indies and stuff can still happen, you know, without a conference.
Yeah, I think it's for the games that are not trailer ready, right? The games that are
Right,
conceptual,
right.
and I'm looking for somebody to partner up with.
Pitches and stuff.
Right. You can't make those trailers public. You can't make that a digital experience unless it is this closed kind of thing, a digital GDC, like a digital meeting room. I'm sure that this conversation is happening 1,000 times in 1,000 other industries. It's a weird planet we're on right now, currently, where we're having to learn how to remotely do business, and it's freaky. It's definitely weird.
And as much as I want an E3 party, like that is exciting to think of those challenges presented to everybody. Like, what are they going to do now? Is this, I still want something like E3 for the most selfish of reasons. I want something in Los Angeles to be excited about in the video game industry. I don't want to just constantly have to travel like for everything. Or not travel in a lot of instances because it's not in our budget. But it's exciting to think of potentially what Ubisoft will do. It was exciting this last year to look at State of Play and just kind of how Sony has evolved, looked at the Nintendo Direct format and did their own version of that. So it is interesting to see what these different publishers are going to do in that case. But it just makes sense to me because you think about like a GameSpot or an IGN or these other people that are like, all right, it's E3 week, like we have a new stage, there's a new page on our website where all of this stuff is being posted,
new graphics package,
new graphics package,
yes,
E3 is being added to all of this stuff. So when you start to like stretch that out more and more, then it's just the year. It's like what really is special about this event.
Yeah, I hear
why
you.
are we even going to call it something? It's just before the summer. It's just kind of like everything, there's when the new TV shows come out, there's when the new big blockbusters come out every summer, there's when new products hit the shelves before Christmas. It's like all that stuff just kind of naturally happens. But if you're covering it, whether you're like us talking about video games or just anything else that people can buy, there's something different about it specifically taking place over like a 6-day period.
Yeah.
And it is definitely stretched from 4 days to 5 days to 6 days. But it still will be weird not to have it kind of compact in that one unit for us to make a celebration about it.
Ben, I think it's got at least one more year.
Oh, yeah.
I think there is an E3 2021.
Yes, I agree with you.
They're not quitters.
Yeah.
I think that's logical, even though I said I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't next year. But it's not on an upward trend. I think is like
Definitely
the ultimate
not.
point
Yes.
I'm trying to say,
Especially
right?
next
Is
year's
it's
not
not thriving. But I feel like just the way that we talk about games, even on this very podcast, like gigantic stories and events and things are happening within a matter of hours. Like I even think about Nintendo Directs and the way that it goes for us on Slack is it's like, hey, Nintendo announced the Nintendo Direct. It's happening in like 18 hours. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
And then there's just kind of this, I think from an audience perspective, kind of this collective excitement and like everybody's scrambling. And I think that scrambling is good. You are suddenly, whatever you were doing, you're kind of throwing that away and being like, all right, let's focus on this. And I think in a lot of ways that's even more beneficial because I feel like there are days at E3, especially when we've been doing, a 12-hour day or however long we're doing it, where like we're thinking back and it's like, oh, right, that game or this thing. And I have to wonder if that's part of it, where by removing it and kind of making it year-long or month-long, like you said, they can kind of just drop those bombs whenever, where it's like in 12 hours, again, theoretically, they're talking about the PS5. Whatever you are doing, you're going to stop and pay attention to that thing.
Yeah.
Or at least we are.
And Brad, this is the funny thing we thought of just, I guess that was 2 days ago when we learned about it, is that it's not always bombs too. It is sometimes just gameplay, just a game being played and demonstrated for the first time. And we're talking about how potentially this could be the first year we get to just watch the treehouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
we just
were
get to like
talking about that.
sit down and just chill
Because how many
out.
times are people like telling us like they talked about it in Treehouse? They showed us a Treehouse.
Yeah, we
And
couldn't
we
watch
didn't
it.
see it because
Yeah.
we're busy.
And so I wonder, Brad, if these digital experiences do stretch beyond a direct, if everybody's going to be setting up their own tree houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and that is
point.
awesome because there a lot of times during an E3 press conference, it's like, oh, I want to see more of that, and there just isn't time.
Yeah.
And so by making a digital event, like you really have room to present this however you want. oh man, just imagining like seeing Elden Ring and it's like, okay, here's a 30-minute walkthrough or something.
Yes.
That
means more than a trailer.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think you're already starting to see that. I think what CD Projekt Red has been doing with Cyberpunk, I think is a bit effective, and maybe telling for those sorts of games going forward. Even Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, that was what they did, is they're like, we're going to take you through an hour of this game. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
We got a juicy nugget, though.
Ooh.
Mama Bird, Jason Schreier, in his reporting of
Open that
E3's
mouth.
cancellation, he heard some things. So I'm going to just read you his reporting from Kotaku. This year, a newcomer planned to enter the field. Warner Brothers Games was preparing to host an E3 press conference for the first time, according to 3 people familiar with the publisher's plans. There, WB Games had planned to talk about a number of much-anticipated games, including a new Batman. Whoa.
I just heard Huber yelling from his house.
Well, it's almost kind of reassuring to know that they had no plans to even talk about it until E3.
Yeah,
It's like, okay,
yeah.
we won't know about it for a few more months. A Harry Potter game that was leaked in 2018. Remember that trailer distinctly.
Oh, yeah.
And the next game from Arkham developers, Rocksteady Studios. It remains to be seen whether Warner Brothers will still hold its own digital event or something else entirely.
That's a press conference.
That would have been a nice press conference. That would have been a good one.
Cool 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Warner Brothers never. I mean, they had some good lineups in years past, right? And they published The Witcher in the
Hopefully
US.
they still do something.
I mean,
or release them.
Mortal
stuff.
Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah, MK, yeah.
Yes.
But they've always been part of other people's conferences. Like, this speaks to what could happen going forward, is everyone just does their own thing during that time, Controls the message themselves.
Control the message.
Yeah, it's so weird. And I guess what's weird on top of that is without E3, I wonder if there's really a true incentive to talk about those 3 games on the same day.
Good question.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point, because you could just have a Rocksteady day. You
Yeah.
could just have a WB Montreal Batman day. You could just have a Harry Potter day.
Yeah.
And, kind of going back to that idea, it's like, well, if we spread this out and we go harder on those things individually, for us, we just get more, right? And that is potentially cool, but...
So the marketer in me says it's good to keep it all in one show. But I'm thinking back to Square Enix last year, where they know they had us because of Final Fantasy VII in the beginning and Avengers at the end. They could show us anything in the middle, and we will be watching. And I kind of think that's the effect with WB. It's like, oh, you're here for Batman? Watch this stupid little Harry Potter mobile game trailer. Yeah. They know that they have a captive audience.
Not mobile.
It exists. That game's out. And so, yeah, I do think that I think there's still something to that. A big old WB show. I hope they still go through with it.
Yeah,
Well,
the
and
Gears Pop moment.
Yeah, exactly, right? We got you captive. You have to watch this trailer right now.
the one more thing, you can't do that if it's just like, okay, today you can, but it's not the same.
Doesn't feel
as
the
if it's
same.
packaged into a show.
Yeah.
It's also selling WB versus any of those individual properties. Because, like, you can, if I'm just a Harry Potter fan, I don't care what else WB's doing. But now, oh, wow, look at that. That's a busy, prominent, business that's doing well, that big company there. Whereas if you're just constantly pushing your products out, you're not necessarily attaching yourself to those products and the mind share of the consumer.
That's so right, because WB is a huge publisher. We never give them that credit. We never give them that Activision credit. And maybe that's partially it, right? They never present themselves as a big publisher.
Well, they don't have a face, really.
Yeah.
That's why EA Play is so fascinating, Brad. Like you and I have experienced the best and worst of EA Play. And it cracks me up when I go there. It's just like, why are they doing this? Why is it so important to them?
Yeah.
Because you look at all of their brands, like you see like The Sims and Apex, and it's like, I think all of these things individually are going to do fine without this event.
Yeah.
So what are we all doing? Why are we here? Why are they really taking? Are they doing this because there is an E3, or are they doing this because they want to change E3, or
But it is to push the brand.
fascinating to me, like what in there, because I can think of reasons why you would do something like that, but I want to know like why that's important to EA, like why EA's not like it. We don't just want to go to the bank and pick up our big bags of cash. We want you to know we're busy.
Yeah.
We're handling all of these different
with
things.
EA Play, it felt like to me like they had those there because there'd be nothing else for you to play there.
Sure.
there was Star Wars and you couldn't play it.
Yeah, right.
So you could play like Apex Legends or The Sims. It's
Yeah.
like what the hell else are you gonna play?
Unravel
I-
2, you know.
Yeah.
I cannot get over how good Jedi Fallen Order was and how poorly it was presented.
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
It is funny to think back on that.
If you go back and you watch them talking about it, or even just the awkward, like, so you're working on a new Star Wars game? Yep. Like, do you remember that kind of initial conversation?
Yes.
Like, what the hell was going? There was so much you could have done with that game.
Here's a logo.
Yeah. I remember distinctly Stig being asked, "Hey, can you change the color of the lightsabers?" He's like, "I can't talk about that." You could have. You could have just
talked
said
about
yes.
it.
It's fine. It's fine.
What would have been
dude.
ruined if you just said
Yeah.
yes?
You get different kyber crystals.
Yeah, it was just like, why don't you just? You can change the color of the lightsaber. It's fine.
What the hell was going on?
They were
with
so
the lead up to that
secretive
game?
at E3. It was so weird, so unnecessary.
Protect the IP, Kyle.
Yeah, I guess so.
The pristine Star Wars IP.
I want to have a difficult conversation,
Oh.
kind of tied in with all of this. It's another. I wouldn't be surprised if. I would not be surprised if our next generation consoles do not launch in 2020.
2020. Yeah. It's possible.
I think we all have to get to the point where we will accept that news when it arrives and not be too surprised by it.
I'm there.
I don't like this ever increasing feeling that I'm limping towards next generation consoles instead of like joyfully jumping up
Right.
and embracing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. I think considering the situation, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, when next gen gets here, it will be exciting regardless. But I don't know. I also can't shake the feeling that it's hurting momentum a little bit. It's creating like this weird in between space.
It's the time when video games could actually just, we looked at the what's the Switch fitness game?
Ring
Ring
Fit.
Fit
Ring Fit
Adventures.
Adventure. We looked at Ring Fit Adventure, right? And how it's, ballooning because of the quarantines. This is the time to sell your video game consoles.
Yeah.
I'm positive they do not want to delay. I'm positive right
I'm
now.
sure they don't want to miss the holiday.
Right.
At all. Yeah.
Microsoft, Sony are working as hard as they can. They've already said, look, coronavirus is not going to affect our launches. They've said that out loud.
They both have said that.
Not recently.
Okay.
Sony said that, I think, last month.
and
Yeah, 'cause, like-
the situation is changing daily.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Since
how
then,
quick-
haven't like the factories closed? I heard reports
Many factories
that-
have closed,
yeah.
Like the things actually making the consoles might not be functional.
It's just, it's kind of unfeasible to think that it could come together in time at this point.
And like my emotions tied to next gen in terms of somebody who sits in a chair in a podcast versus my emotions about next gen from like a gaming perspective are like two completely separate things. Like if you were like, we know for a fact next gen's not gonna happen until 2022, I'd be like, cool, I have so many games to play, I have so much stuff to catch up on. Like, oh cool, I will finish Death Stranding. Like, go great. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of stuff personally that I could go back and check out.
It's the
There's
worst thing to
nothing-
complain about, right?
There's nothing really in me that's like, no, that's gonna cancel that. It's mostly just a curiosity about what's gonna happen. Like, what is Halo Infinite? What does the PS5 look like?
Yeah.
It's those questions that I really want to have answered, and not necessarily like, I need that console plugged in right now because I gotta play whatever.
I don't think it's worth complaining about. I'm trying to find the right way to phrase like.
Well, it's absolutely a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but it's not like, oh no, like it's not angry. I'm not
Yes.
angry about
Yeah.
it. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah, you could be bummed out
It's
without being
like-
mad.
Yeah.
you were planning a party for months with your friends, and you were really excited.
Yeah.
You were like, we're finally gonna show each other our Lego collections
Yeah.
that have been sitting on our shelves.
And play with them.
And play. No.
No. Okay,
Not that kind of Lego.
Just
No,
take
no, no,
pictures.
no, no, no.
Take pictures.
And then they call you and they go, I am super sick. And you're like, I understand.
Yeah.
Don't get your germs on my Legos.
Yes.
But you were looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there are people behind the consoles. There's people behind the games. There's people behind, in the factories, building the stuff. Like, there's people behind all of this. And so you stretch this stuff out, and like those people still need to be paid. Those people still need jobs. They still need to be considered to potentially be employed by these companies that have to delay this stuff. And so it's one thing to see these objects potentially out of our reach, but another thing to be like, what do you do with all these people that are working on it?
Oh, these are the big questions, Jones. Right. Yeah, that's everybody's dealing with that right now.
So, and I don't know if that's just me getting older or me having gone through so many console generation jumps getting potentially less like frothy every single time it happens. Like I'm just more eager to have it be good for Easy Allies, have it be good generally for our industry. And so it's like, if, Sony has to slow stuff down, then what does that mean for their first party people? What does that mean for the third party people? What does that mean for exclusives that haven't even been announced yet that are now like, our game's done. We're ready. Or we are going to be done, and
yeah, here's the thing. Let's say I'm Sony right now. There's no way I would show the PS5 right now. If I was planning on having my event next month, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold off until we have a really good grasp of what the situation is going to be like.
I don't know if they should release until they know that they can release it at a certain time.
Yeah,
or
Brad, I'm with you there. It seems almost...
Unless they just give like the time frame of the window of holiday 2020.
Yeah, but I mean, you're feeling very certain at that point of things that are completely out of anybody's control. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
We're in this very wait period of we don't know.
Yeah. In the same way, I would not feel confident having my E3 press conferences being like, yeah, Batman 2021. Like I wouldn't feel confident about doing that anymore. The very day that Fast 9 gets delayed a whole year to April. Like, how could you say, yeah, my video game for sure is coming out on this
poor
date?
New Mutants. New Mutants just never coming out.
Wait, did Mulan get delayed?
Yeah.
It was going to come out today.
It's got Disney just bumped a
March
bunch of stuff and some horror film.
Oh, okay.
Some horror film that's on their slate too that I didn't know about.
Huh.
Or didn't know it was Disney specifically.
Yeah. I mean, obviously movies are different because you watch those in public places.
But
I
you buy
understand the
consoles
difference
in
there.
public places too.
Yeah.
You wait out in line with
Not
a bunch of
always.
people who are being very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Sent home, baby.
Is there
Sent to my house.
is there a chance that the streets are just going to be empty and we're all just going to be cooped up in our rooms playing video games?
Golden age of video games.
Yeah.
If anything good comes out of this, there will be more people playing video games.
And watching podcasts.
Or listening.
Yeah.
Go ahead and listen. You won't hear that.
Oh.
It sounds like it's podcast halftime!
Okay. So we all know how a VPN protects your privacy and security online, right? But I didn't know this until recently, and it has taken my TV watching game to the next level. You can use a VPN to unlock movies and shows that are only available in other countries. Over the weekend and for the next foreseeable future, because it's a big long season, I used ExpressVPN to binge Doctor Who on UK Netflix. It's so simple. I just fired up ExpressVPN app, changed my location to the UK, refresh Netflix, and that's it. See, ExpressVPN hides your IP address and lets you control where you want sites to think you're located. You can choose from almost 100 different countries, so just think about all those Netflix libraries you can go through. Love anime?
Yes.
All right. Use ExpressVPN to access Japanese Netflix and be spirited away. But it's not just Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason that we use ExpressVPN to watch shows is it's ridiculously fast. There's never any buffering or lag, and you can stream in HD no problem, and it's super easy to set up. I've set this up on my PC, but Ian, you've set this up on mobile almost right away.
Yep, I put it on my phone.
Yeah. ExpressVPN.
It just worked.
It just worked. ExpressVPN is also compatible with all your devices, phones, media consoles, smart TVs, and more, so you can watch what you want to on the go or on the big screen wherever you are. If you visit our special link right now, which is expressvpn.com/allies, you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Support the show, watch what you want, and protect yourself at expressvpn.com/allies. Oh, and if you're a patron of Easy Allies, thank you.
Did the copy start with okay?
It did.
Huh.
Okay.
It did.
It's funny that words like that do draw attention. Listen.
You're also calling back to the halftime after we finish the halftime. That's a cardinal sin. You don't know what you're talking about? What copy?
Oh, because if
What
you are a
copy?
patron of $5 or more, or any
Yeah.
patron, you didn't hear a second of that.
Yeah.
So maybe leave in the okay and then cut straight to if you're a patron.
Oh.
It's funny. Reading this copy, doing the whole thing,
Yeah.
not the problem. You,
I know.
Oh,
I
my
know.
God.
the wrenches that get thrown my way after we're done.
What's the story behind that shirt?
This I heart copters. What does it say? I love copters.
I love copters. Laser choppers?
I had I don't know if I can say what company. Brother-in-law worked for a company that would be making helicopters, and you would get a shirt like this if you worked at such a company.
Was
Gotcha.
it Lockheed?
Can't say. Let's talk about a wrench that was thrown into my machinery.
Oh.
Just before recording this podcast, we got a hot, fresh rumor about a Silent Hill reboot.
That was weirdly sensual.
The machinery?
Your machinery.
In my machine.
Is that what that sound is?
And my machinery.
Good Blur song.
This is
a wrench they can throw into my machinery anytime they want.
Ian. Can you lead off? I've barely understood what I've read today.
All I've heard is that there's stronger and stronger rumors that there's people at Sony making a Silent Hill / Silent Hills game, potentially with people from Team Silent and Project Siren on board.
Yeah, and what is strange is our source is a website called RelyOnHorror.com.
Whoa.
Ben just had a revelation.
No, I did. I'm sorry. I'm super sorry.
What's going on in your machinery right now?
Weekly hunts
Yes,
today.
yes.
We say a lot of nonsense, but Huber was there.
Yeah.
And I said, like, I just want a new good Silent Hill. I believe that's what I said. And he was like, he just said, like, sincerely, it's happening. Don't worry about it. Oh, man.
The pulse.
He just does
He
things.
could feel the creation.
He is.
And I,
We are in Huber's
maybe
lucid
we'd already
dream.
heard about this rumor.
There's been rumors before.
There
Maybe
have
we'd
been
already heard
rumors
about
for a
this
sec.
rumor.
There have been rumors for a sec.
That's what I do when I kind of blink,
downsell
I
Huber,
nudge,
though.
I just kind of like
Right.
saunter over to Huber, and I'm like, SSX? And he's like, no, I'm not feeling anything. The universe is telling me nothing, John. So
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
just being honest.
Maybe
Okay.
I'm ascribing too much divination to Huber.
So
I want to subscribe to the theory that Huber is some kind of like divine creation.
He's got to
spirit.
want it.
Yeah.
You can't make him. You can't rub that monkey's paw. Like, he's got to want the thing, and then.
Yeah.
do you rub the monkey's paw?
Do you?
Yeah. When
You
you
rub
make
a lamp.
wish, you
I think you just hold the paw.
like palpate.
Made the rabbit's foot. You rub the
Oh,
rabbit's
you rub
foot.
a rabbit's foot. Yeah.
If you want to rub the paw, it can't hurt.
Well, the monkey's paw hurts you no matter what.
So, RelyOnHorror.com, I want to read a paragraph, the most informative one. Our first source, who we've come to trust well. Okay, so this is all we know about their information. Indicates that Keiichiro Toyama, director and writer of the original 1999 Silent Hill, and Akira Yamaoka, the composer
Baby.
for the majority of the franchise, are also returning alongside Masahiro Ito. The trio will helm a soft reboot of the Silent Hill series, possibly just called Silent Hill. SIE Japan Studio, who Ian was talking about, which possibly includes team members from Project Siren. Siren Blood Curse used to be a Sony exclusive series that just kind of dropped off.
Well, it was based on there was a game just called Siren first. too.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. And so Siren Blood Curse is like the PS3 sequel.
I want to say this is from memory. I'll check in a second. I want to say Blood Curse was the third one.
I think there are two
Okay.
PS2
yeah, I think
Siren
there are
games
two Siren
that
2,
I
and then
believe are
Blood
both
Curse.
available on PlayStation Now.
I'll check.
Cool.
They were one of the first games I flew over to on PlayStation Now when I saw that.
Nice. That team will be behind its development in some capacity, either in full or in part. Our source states that this title has been in the works for about a year. Our second source, which has no connection to the first, was aware of Ito's involvement in a new Silent Hill title and informed us of that information some time ago. That all sounds pretty realistic to me.
Yes, we were correct. Siren, Forbidden Siren 2, Siren Blood Curse.
Most likely a PlayStation 5 exclusive, says Rely Horror.
If it's
Rely on
been a year
Horror.
in development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This project's in an interesting place
Okay.
because it's got a lot going for it and a lot going against it.
What's going against it?
The expectations. PT, one of the best horror experiences I've ever played in my entire life. Like, can that be a part of it now? Or they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And you have a lot of PT fans who are like, why wouldn't you? They did it.
There's a part
They
two-
already laid it out for you. Just do that. They're like, well, we want to do our thing. Like, we weren't involved in that project. We're involved in this now.
Yeah.
And not just mention the whole excitement that was just building up towards the potential of Silent Hills coming back, and then everyone like trying to get their excitement again, potentially for another rumor. Like,
Counterpoint. Have you played the recent Silent Hill games, like the most recent ones?
The Room is when I stopped.
Okay, I think we would just take a pretty okay one, honestly. I think
I hope
there'd
so.
be.
I hope so. Yeah. yeah.
I think there would be like I hear what you're saying, and I don't think you're wrong. I think obviously PT generated a lot of excitement, but like people, myself included, just want Silent Hill so bad that I don't think it would have to necessarily capitalize on PT completely to be successful.
Yeah, like if a Silent Hill game came out and was like a 7.5 or 8, it would probably be like the 4th or 5th best Silent Hill. You know, it's like not too bad.
And it'll have good music.
Yeah.
Jones, there is a second half of this rumor, though, very pertinent to the point that you brought up, is that a second title is in development, or at least being worked on, that will be Silent Hills. And that Sony is working to patch up the relationship between Kojima Productions and Konami in order to resurrect the game.
Oh.
Whoa.
And this is where I don't feel
This is
comfortable
like dream
reporting this on the
scenario.
podcast
No,
anymore.
sure,
This
yeah.
is too wild to me.
That's wild.
I saw something that Norman Reedus said that he was working on something but not Silent Hills. But of course, he forgot he was in PT, so who knows?
You forgot that?
So
Yeah, apparently.
What?
how do you
Dead settled.
how do you broker that conversation? Like, what do you say? How do you get those people in the room? How do you start that conversation?
It's also not really in PT, to be honest.
Right,
You don't
at the
hear
very
him.
end.
You don't. Yeah,
Sure.
It's just a character model.
You just go, so Sony's been asking about you. Or I guess, no, you're talking about Konami and Kojima. So you're like, Konami's been asking about you.
On the playground.
But then
tell the
if
other
you're
side
Kojima
thing.
Productions, don't you just say like, who cares? You know, let them ask.
If I am Kojima, yes. I'm working on my own IPs now. I'm selling my own T-shirts. I don't want to touch Silent Hills. No, thank you.
But what
There's
if he
no
still
reason to.
does?
If it happens, I will be gobsmacked.
You know what you do?
Godsmacked?
I'll be gobsmacked.
Stand alone.
Prince of Persia.
They did a really weird cover of Eleanor Rigby, I remember.
What?
I think that was Godsmack. Anyway, if to get Kojima on board, you just go like, "Hey, Guillermo was asking the other day."
I like that.
It's just
And you just text Guillermo. And he's
Yeah,
like, I
what
don't know what you're
actor
talking
is
about,
what
man.
actor is
Yeah.
Kojima into right now?
I got a new segment. It's called "Do You Want to Feel Weird Today?"
Yeah.
It's a mini segment. You want to feel weird today? Look up the story about the Prince of Persia being added to what's
For Honor.
For Honor.
Yeah, I saw that.
Look
Cool.
at that image though, dude.
Yeah, I saw it.
I haven't seen the image.
It's wild. It's not. It's its own Prince of Persia, a very realistic looking man,
Yeah.
and he's not. That's no Prince of Persia. It's
What do
just,
you mean? What do you mean that's no Prince of Persia?
he's just a guy. He's just a guy who's got kind of like Prince of Persia, like dreads. He's got a magical amulet
but
over
I think
his breast.
EA has like mechanics though, like it.
Sure. That's
What
not.
do you mean? He's looked different so many times, the Prince?
This is not. That is not. That is no Prince.
No, I don't want to hear this boomer mentality. Like this old. Let's move forward. Get a new Prince.
Yeah.
Look, I'm cool with new princes.
Let him be new again.
This guy's not royalty.
He doesn't have to be in this one.
Okay. There he is.
Wait, shoot again.
Okay. Everything that you said
Okay, dude,
makes
listen.
sense now.
Hear me out. Okay.
Okay.
That is not a Prince of Persia.
He's getting back on his feet, dude. He's getting outcast.
This I understand. This I
He's been
understand.
outcast for a long time, dude.
Yeah.
Out of his kingdom.
Yes.
He's been in rough shape, but now he's getting ready again, dude.
Okay.
He does kind
I
of
don't
look
know
like
why.
a bum.
I don't know why they gave him that outfit though.
That's his traditional outfit, is it not?
Kind of. Yeah, I guess so.
This has been You Want to Feel Weird Today. So going back to Silent Hills.
He's got
Rumors.
like the Alec Baldwin chest, you know?
Yes.
He's
Thank
got
you.
the, like-
I'm sure listeners were so frustrated. You just
bit-
nailed it.
It's like it's stocky, you know. It's like it's probably you punch that guy and he can probably take a couple of those, you know, stomach blows. But there's not the definition, you know. There's
Yeah.
not.
I'm telling you, man, this is just his comeback. This is the start. He's got to start somewhere.
Yes.
He'll
Drinking too
he'll
many
lose those
beers, that
pounds, dude.
Prince.
I was told once that I was classically barrel chested. And I was like, what is
Classically barrel
Yes.
chested?
Who said that to you?
just a friend? And I was like,
A
okay.
good friend?
It was not a girlfriend, no. But not a compliment. It was like, hey, I like how you're classically barrel chested. Like, oh, okay.
Do they say it like that?
All right.
Kyle,
Yes.
how do we patch up the relationship between you and the person who called you?
Was it
classically
Dan?
barrel-chested?
It was not. It was not. We got to
only
talk
friend I
about
know you
Silent Hills. No, I don't. You know what? I'm kind of like done with it. It's like worth bringing up on a
Sure.
podcast. It's wild. If it's true, hey, go nuts. But like, I don't see this coming to fruition.
This has This has to happen.
It has to happen.
Silent Hill is too important to rot away. Like,
Yes.
please, just get it together.
It's so good to be true, though, right? And you can imagine Sony bringing their money to the table to make Konami think about it. Konami, who has not been making these kind of games in a while. You could see it coming together. You could see Sony being the ones who are making this happen.
for
but,
sure.
Is there any way to just like sneak into Konami and just take whatever Silent Hill rights they have and just no one's the wiser?
No, all the lights are off. You won't be able to find it.
Okay.
It's Silent Hill for me though is, this is pessimistic, but I'm just really trying to think about like what I really want to define why I would be excited for a new Silent Hill, because it's kind of getting like GoldenEye syndrome a little bit, where we're so far removed from the franchise at its peak that I do have to ask myself in 2020, like what is it? What do we need from Silent Hill that like Layers of Fear isn't doing? That like other, like that there are fun horror experiences to play in VR. Like there is good gaming horror to find out there. So what is it? And when I played PT, this was like, okay, I don't remember ghosts being involved that much in Silent Hill. Obviously, like weird imagery is what I'm looking at actually happening.
Yeah, they showed
but
up
like
in 4.
so I was like, oh, this is kind of taking that series to spin in a new direction. So if they're like, no, we're gonna do soft reboot, we're going back to the roots. In 2020, what are those roots? I don't know. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist.
Ben,
I just don't know.
Tell him. We can't end this segment without you telling him.
Let me make an anecdote for you, right? I think what you're saying is like saying, well, what's the point about getting excited for a new Final Fantasy? And I think the reason why Final Fantasy is as strong as it is because of its ability to reinvent itself, right? It's not just a JRPG. It is a JRPG that is trying to think on the cutting edge as much as possible. And Silent Hill has not always done that, but at its best, it does do that. I think you look at the leap from Silent Hill 1 to Silent Hill 2, and then 3 going back and connecting to 1, and then 4 being its own new... Like, I think it is that ambition, even something like Shattered Memories, right? That it is the creative landscape. It is not formulaic, and sometimes that doesn't always work very well, but I think PT is kind of like the ultimate example of that, where it's like there can be a vibe and you should capture that vibe, but you can kind of do whatever else you want. And so ideally, if Sony's dumping all of this money into a new Silent Hill, you would get that sense again, where it's like, we are not making Layers of Fear. That's not knocking against Layers of Fear. I'm just saying we're not just doing what has been done. We're trying to go forward.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting too about the games that you mentioned, like a lot of horror games owe a lot to Silent Hill 1 and 2 specifically.
Right.
And Silent Hill kind of lived long enough to become the villain, like it didn't live up to its own past potential, and so like Layers of Fear and Amnesia and all these things that like wouldn't exist as they are today maybe without Silent Hill 1 and 2 having happened. And it's like, I'm thirsty for... That's why PT was being revealed to be Silent Hills was so refreshing, because that felt like Silent Hill 2 again. It felt like Silent Hill being on that cutting edge like Ben was talking about. And so, there is a risk that it doesn't iterate or doesn't try to be the Silent Hill for 2020. Like, that's the danger, is like it can't try to recapture the magic in the same way. It's got to be daring in the old way, like in a new way that but that Silent Hill 2 was at the time.
What's weird now is PT itself was so influential, and so many things have copied PT.
Right.
Yeah.
So not that it would necessarily be bad, but it would be weird trying to capture what PT did in a post-PT world that we now live in.
Especially without that creative team.
Right.
Like, it's Ouroboros. Like, it just the snake keeps eating itself and then degrading as it does it, And it's, oh, man. Like you said at the beginning, there's a lot riding on this, and it could go very poorly.
Right.
But I have hope. I don't know.
Yeah, Jones, I'm hoping it just does the Resident Evil 7 treatment of like kind of going back to what it did, like what made it great kind of thing, and just building off that with a new perspective or something like that. Like, I want Silent Hill to get the RE treatment of RE7, and you get your RE2 remake. It doesn't need a remake or something like that, but like that upward momentum with the franchise.
Yeah.
There are arguably way too many remakes to begin with, but I actually think there is tremendous potential in a Silent Hill 1 remake.
The
things that you could do. I think it'd be harder to do 2, but 1 specifically, I think you could have something at the level of an RE2 remake or RE1 remake.
I would not change a thing that was copied from Kindergarten Cop. I would keep the bus and the school exactly the same.
Absolutely.
I love the. John, do you know this? They basically.
I know Kindergarten.
So they use Kindergarten
very
Cop as a
well.
reference for Silent Hill. So many things that you see in the movie are just one-to-one recreated in
the school.
in the school of PS1 Silent Hill.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. This next story, I gotta admit, doesn't have a ton of meat on it, but I'll take any excuse to bring back corporate shakeups. A lot of podcasts will have a soundboard where they get their sound effect
yeah.
immediately.
Not us.
Me, I'm clicking on my laptop. You heard the pause.
We do it raw.
Yeah. So, Reggie Fils-Aime,
Oh boy.
former president of Nintendo of America, has a new gig. He has been appointed. He's on the board. What is this? It's a board of directors. He's on the board of directors at GameStop. And this was the headline I saw. It's like, oh, they're bringing in Reggie in particular. They're bringing in two other, one former CEO of Walmart, Bill Simon, and current PetSmart president and CEO, James J.K. Excuse me. I don't have a water. Szymanczyk. Okay, all right. Former CEO of Walmart, current PetSmart president, and former president of Nintendo of America, all coming to the board of directors of GameStop to help the company
Save it.
survive longer. I really don't think there's much to say about this story. I really don't.
Making moves though.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know.
Reggie's getting money. Reggie gets paid. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time this will take of Reggie's day. Seems
Yeah.
like Reggie's doing a lot,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
You're on an executive board. Okay.
I have not been on many executive boards
Yeah.
of major companies in my life. So yeah, I don't know how much. How many spaces in his calendar filled out because he accepted this position?
It's such a weird press release to read because GameStop is also trying to increase the turnover of their executive board. They want to stop keeping people from remaining on the panel for over 10 years. They're like, okay, you're on here too long. We're trying to recycle people. There are 4 people who are retiring this year off of the board as these 3
Every
people
console
come in.
generation, you get one shot.
Yeah. And obviously GameStop has been in trouble for a long time, and they're trying out other stores. They're trying things out. Like, hey, what if we have a couch in here? What's so weird is, Jones, it was one of the first episodes of GT Time, like probably first 10, where we're talking about how to save GameStop. And that's like 6 or 5 years ago, it's like, oh, they're having problems. Yeah. Best of luck to you, Reggie. I believe in you. But
Yeah, I also wonder too if this is a really okay, now we're going to turn it around. Now we have really high expectations.
Yeah.
Now our stock's going to go up, our sales are going to be through the roof, or if this is part of their end, like they kind of recognize the writings on the wall, and so they're bringing in other people to be like, what can we salvage?
Yes.
Like, what can we do? What can we do on a game front? What can we do on a software front, and what we can do with all these products. PetSmart guy,
yeah.
I got a tip.
Okay.
Got a tip from right now. Why I stopped going to GameStop, man.
Bring
I
it
haven't been in
on.
a long time, but every
Bring it
time I would go there, they would try to sell me like 2 or 3 things, and they treated me like I didn't know anything.
Yeah. I was actually reading a lot about that policy, Brad.
And I was like, dude, please stop.
That comes
I don't
from
want to buy a
above.
GamePro subscription or whatever,
course,
Game
yeah.
Informer.
And what sucks is those people have to get quotas.
I know,
They gotta
it
get,
does suck.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
I know. It's such
But
a
it's just so
effed up
annoying, man.
business. Yeah. It is very annoying to be talked to at a GameStop.
I've been in a number of GameStops that are disgustingly small, where it's like
Disgustingly small.
it's like the worst shopping experience you could ever imagine. You get like 3 people in there, and you're like, oh, excuse me, I'm just trying to look at the PS4 games or whatever, and like figure it out, man. You don't need half the store to be Funko Pops. They're not doing that well for you.
They're not.
Figure it out.
They were selling a bunch of Funko Pops and they over-purchased them. It's just, it's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
I like when you put a little bit of news in your love and respect.
Ooh.
You turn it around into a question. And I have a feeling that this panel especially does not care about this news. So it's going to be a fun question. Buenas tardes, allies. I am sure you know by now, 2K has revealed their intentions to introduce multiple future video games under the NFL license, albeit offering non-simulation football game experiences. Now, I'm sure most gamers who took the time to read this disclaimer are expecting an NFL Blitz-like experience. However, I would like to share with you my own vision for what may be coming down the pike. Imagine that the ultimate experience of pickup football games between longtime rivals and neighbors, taking place during a crowded tailgate, Thanksgiving dinner, or a company team building retreat, complete with official team jerseys, signature stadiums, although only in the distance in the parking lot, regional accents, and the spontaneous fistfights that you've come to expect from professional hockey. At this point, I know what you're thinking. And yes, there will certainly be grilling minigames. Now, allies, is this game a pass or an incompletion? Love and respect, Funnelhead.
Depends on the writing.
Yes, it depends on the writing.
If the writing's good, then I'm in.
You know why I said this is getting in the podcast? When I read regional accents.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. Like, just going to Buffalo and hearing some Buffalo fans.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Get out of the car. Just
Yeah.
like stuff like, yeah, I'm in.
Oh man. So yeah, I think I just realized when I got to the end, this is, and for that reason, this is absolutely just somebody pitching us a game. But I do think it is interesting that 2K, they put out a press release, hey, we have an NFL license, but we're not allowed to make Madden. We're not allowed to make NFL 2K.
XFL. If it's around.
No, XFL is a whole different thing.
Oh,
so they have a
someone
deal.
have the rights to that?
Yeah.
Who's got 'em?
Vince McMahon.
No,
dude.
no, for a game.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
I bet Vince is not letting it go for cheap.
What do you mean?
He's not letting it go for cheap?
Who else is going for it?
Nobody. We got to play an XFL game. Anyway, Brad, there are 8 teams in the XFL.
I know.
It's just a bad video game.
Just make like a little like indie game, dude.
Yeah, it's a really, really unexciting league for a video game. Okay, so, just weird announcement to make from 2K, who is a big boy, is a WB Games, is a huge publisher, to say, hey, we can't make simulation type NFL games, but we want to make NFL games.
And just put BioShock characters in it.
No.
Yeah.
Don't
Yes,
do that.
this is right. This
Like
is right.
open a tear to reality
Yeah,
and like put a field goal right
BioShock says there's infinite universes,
Yeah.
so obviously there's
Like
one where they all
the
play football.
injections or whatever for power-ups.
Yeah.
Easy.
This is just Ken Levine's vision,
Will you
really.
kindly kick that field goal? Like, perfect.
Hey, allies. This month marks the 25th anniversary.
We're gone. We're not talking about this anymore.
No.
Oh, I
Why?
had so many
Do you have a
ideas.
take?
Dude, I got takes, man.
Spit your take.
All right. I was about to. Would you just spit over Brad? Is that how things are done?
Yes.
Yeah, you usually do.
I love the family barbecue angle.
Yes.
So I love you have a random group of people
Mm-hmm.
and you got to pick, okay, who's the, you got to draft them. So you're looking at, Aunt Marge and little Susie and and you're like, okay, Susie's quick. She's once you get her though, you can just check her out of bounds.
It's fun. There is
not
a
that
strategy
much
to
of a
picking
problem.
teams for
But so
family,
you got to
yeah.
pick like, okay, do I want? And then inevitably there's going to be one person in that group that actually like does play college ball. It's like, no, we like football as a family because we got that one, the one kid that's actually in
Nate.
play. Yes,
Yeah.
that we hope goes pro one day. So he's actually pretty good, but if you pick him first, it's like, well, but you got Uncle Frank, who doesn't run that fast, but he's a big guy. You put him on the line, and then you can play with 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, or really blow it up.
I like that.
But it's specifically the draft is like a big part of it.
Yeah.
You can't just play with pre-assigned teams. So if you're playing online, like you got to pick players when you start out.
You're right, because the other captain will fight you if you try to get Nate and somebody else who is pretty fit.
Yeah.
They'll be, no, you have Nate.
Yeah.
You take Grandpa. It'll be that for sure. That has to be a mechanic.
And your girlfriend that you brought will get mad at you if you don't pick her. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's all those relationships.
Like kind of weird meta relationship stuff. When we were little kids, we would daydream about backyard sports video games, like backyard badminton.
They had
all the-
backyard baseball, dude.
Yeah, do you mean the weird
yeah.
one with cartoons with big heads?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this was before that. but
Oh, okay.
We were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we had like a video game where you could play like badminton but with crazy rules and stuff? So
No,
yeah,
go on. What are your
this would
crazy
be great.
rules?
Well, basically like NBA Jam, but with every other
Oh my
sport.
God,
and
with
in your,
badminton.
yeah, with like the sports that we liked. I don't know.
Sure.
On fire.
And you have the story at the end of the game. So once the game is over, it'll say like after this game, Betsy and Phil they divorced, and Grandma threw out her hip, and
But like, you got to get them to even finish the game. You got to keep their interest.
Yeah.
Because like, what if lunch is on?
Yeah.
They're out.
you go to the line and then just like wait.
Oh,
Where did Bobby go? And he's
Chucky, I'm too
you-
full.
You see him
I'm out.
eating a hot dog on the sidelines. Like, I got the hot dog.
I've
You're
seen
like,
that happen in
okay,
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen it. One guy's just like, I'm good.
That's like
Put your sister
when
in.
you see their stats before you pick them. One's just general interest.
Yes.
So you're like, he's very good at this. He's very fast, or he's really good at catching the ball for some reason, but his interest level's very low. So
He could get a text
probably not
message
gonna make the whole
anytime.
game.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's fun. Hey, allies. This month marks the 25th anniversary of one of the greatest video games of all time.
Chrono Trigger.
Yes, you nailed it. As of right now, it seems like Square Enix has its hands full with Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, if it was up to the allies, how would you celebrate this occasion? Would you make a sequel, remake, collection? How would you choose to bring Chrono Trigger back
Everything.
into the public eye? Thanks, guys. And as always, love and respect, Sean.
Everything.
All three.
We don't get to do all three.
Okay,
We got to
what do
think
you
like
mean we
we're,
don't get to do all
like we're
three?
picking our team family. You can't have Nate and Kevin.
Yeah, I can.
Is it on Switch?
No.
Chrono Trigger's- well, there you
It
go.
is not on Switch.
Get that on Switch. My
Get
goodness.
on Switch.
It's not on like
And not the
any
PC
modern
version?
console.
Don't you give us those weird fonts?
Yeah.
I think it's been patched though. I'm
Has
not
it?
sure though.
Has Chrono Trigger
I
been
think
patched?
there's
It
lots
has
of
been,
patches.
it has been patched
Great. Okay.
several times. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Then that's. I don't
They
understand
gotta
why
just
it's not
figure out
there.
like licensing stuff with Toei and all that.
Oh,
that's
is
like
that
a lot of the
is
drag.
that
I
what's
think.
like
Yeah.
happening?
I think that's like a lot of the problem.
Got it.
Well, you figure those out.
Yeah.
You put it on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You announce a Chrono anime. You announce a Chrono movie. You announce a Chrono remake, and a sequel for exclusive to next generation consoles.
Wow.
If it's a CG movie,
Because
it's like Avatar movie.
Kyle, I realize that this is unrealistic and dumb, but think about how legendary Chrono is.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than just we're gonna throw it on Switch.
Yeah.
That's great. Want that? Very happy
I hear
about
what you're
that.
saying.
You say no. We get it. Finally, we understand the importance. We're gonna throw some money at it. Money.
I mean, Ben, here's why I actually hear you is the Trials of Mana remake
Yes.
looks
Yes.
incredible.
It looks good. It looks good.
I'll say it looks much better than the Secret of Mana remake.
Well, so
I don't
hold
know if
on.
I'm ready for incredible.
At that level, would you be happy if a Chrono Trigger remake or sequel looked like that? Looked like the Trials of Mana?
Would I be happy? Yes.
Okay.
But I think you can go even further.
Because,
Yeah,
I mean,
with
it's a
that.
top 4 video game of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with that game, you
I
can
think-
Chrono Trigger's insane.
What
Yeah.
I'm saying is, from everyone, it has. Anytime you hear anybody talk about Chrono Trigger, this is the greatest thing. I think you can lean into that, give it that mystique and prestige that it deserves, and I think that would only work to your benefit.
Brad, do you think they'll touch it? You think Square Enix will touch this game?
No,
I think they desperately want to touch this game, but
You really think it's a licensing thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Toriyama?
It's Toei, I think.
Oh, okay, so he was employed by Toei at the time?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what I've heard Damiani say that to me about stuff,
yeah.
so I trust him on
He
that.
gets grumpy about that.
Yeah.
I wonder, Brad. I do. So they own all of Final Fantasy VII. So why wouldn't you want to remake the game you own all of, as opposed to a game where you have to give up some of the
Yeah, I
money
don't
for
know
it? I get
what
why
the
that might
cut
be a
is.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
this is a weird thing to say, but I also think you'd have to work harder to do the kind of thing that I'm talking about versus like doing a new Final Fantasy. I'm not saying that it isn't an incredible amount of work, but like Brandon was saying with Silent Hill and expectation,
Yes.
I think as much as the expectation and prestige could work for you, it would also work against you. I mean, we were saying that if you make like a 7.5 or 8 Silent Hill game, that'd be pretty well received. I think if you make a 7.5 or 8 Chrono game, you are getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9
And you're
plus.
damaging the brand.
Yeah.
You lessen the possibility of doing that again.
Yeah. Fair point. So I like that question. I like the answer that I got from the panel, which is to say it's actually really hard to bring this game back, to get enthusiasm for it 25 years later because of the unique circumstance it's under. Huh. Cool.
Put it on Switch.
But put it on Switch.
Put it on everything, man.
Why not? Let's play a game. Greetings, allies. As we all know, the number 7 is a sacred being. A review score of a 7 conveys a special level of flawed beauty that other numbers simply don't. However, some 7s are more 7-ish than others. It's time to find the 7ist 7. Below are 3 sets of games, all of which received the equivalent of a 7 from an Easy Allies review. The panel must decide in each group what the best game of the 3 is, and the worst game of the 3. The remaining game, neither the best nor the worst, will go through to the final. And of those 3 games, the title will chosen by the panel as neither the best nor the worst will be the pinnacle, true, average, 7ist 7. Love and respect, Alex McMillan. Okay, McMillan, excuse me, from Northern Ireland. This is gonna be fun. This is, we don't get March Madness this month, so this is the next best thing. Group 1, Rage 2, Concrete Genie, and Yakuza Kiwami. What's the best game of that bunch?
Rage, but I'm gonna say Kiwami.
Kiwami.
Is the best of the bunch?
Yes.
What's the worst of that bunch?
Concrete Genie.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I haven't played Concrete.
I played it. Yeah.
I played the other 2.
Okay, so Rage 2 moves on to the next round.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Wait.
You take the middle. The middle one moves on to the next
you know
round.
what I mean?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense to me because I think Rage 2 just has a lot more going on than Concrete Genie, but it's like forgettable.
Yeah.
At the same time,
It's a pretty
like,
77.
you're
not a
saying,
game
yeah.
you like. Like I really enjoyed Rage 2 and I was playing it, had no desire to finish it, or like I was like I gotta finish this.
Yeah.
I was like it was an easy game to kind of.
It's
step
hard
away
to
from
remember
and
that
work on
game
other
came
things.
out last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wanted Yakuza to go all the way, but it's all right.
No. It's not an
Well,
honor
that's
to
the
be.
thing, it's too good.
Well, it's a strange honor to be the 77. Yeah,
No.
it's too good to be a 7. Group 2,
Nothing is too good to be a 7.
Arms, Far Cry New Dawn, Lawbreakers.
Oh boy.
Lawbreakers is bottom.
You can't even play it anymore. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Right.
Is it?
What,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
want?
What was the first one?
Arms.
I
No,
would
no,
rather
no.
play Lawbreakers than Arms.
Yeah.
I could let me throw this at you.
Sure.
I think Far Cry New Dawn might be like the most forgettable big budget AAA studio game of last year. Tell me
Wait, was
like
that last year?
3 meaningful things about Far Cry New Dawn.
Spear? Sabretooth?
You could travel to other locations. Remember, Huber's excited about that. He's
No.
like, you can go to places actually outside
Meaningful.
of the valley.
Wait,
I didn't play the game. I'm just
this
talking
is
about.
not the Sabretooth one.
This is the neon
No,
one.
No,
this
this
is
is
what I'm saying, dude.
yeah.
right.
This is the
He's
pink
right.
flowers.
You're right.
Yeah.
Evil twins.
I forgot. You're right.
This
that,
was a
that clip video of that
Far Cry 5.1.
of you playing was pretty
no.
funny.
That wasn't. That's
Far Cry
the
5.
thing. That was Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
Ben, you made a
Ben's
great
right.
case. We're
I
putting-
did, Huber really liked it. I never touched it. It's, it's sitting on my PlayStation 4
If
staring
Huber,
at me.
I
but
think if Huber were here, New Dawn would be in the middle.
now that
But
PS5
he's
is likely
not.
getting delayed, I will make time for Far Cry New Dawn.
Okay.
But I'm,
why?
I've
Play
never
Sekiro.
I've never heard I've never heard this much negativity
Finish
about New
Final
Dawn.
Fantasy VII.
But I've only been speaking to Huber.
I love the case. Honestly,
Sure.
That was a great case, man.
well, let's put it on
You
the bottom.
proved it.
So between Arms and Lawbreakers, who's number 1?
I would rather play.
Is good?
Yeah, who's number 1?
I'd
I
rather-
would say Arms is number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I
play
didn't play
Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers,
I did.
admittedly.
I played both.
Lawbreakers is a good 7. It's moving on to the next
Yeah.
round. Okay. All right. Group 3. Ratchet and Clank for PS4. Knack 2.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3.
Oh boy.
Which is the best of that bunch?
I know a lot of people don't like it, but I played through it last year, and I think Ratchet and Clank 2016 is very good.
I would probably think that's the best out of all of them.
But on Shenmue 3?
I don't know. I haven't played Shenmue 3.
I've
Can't-
watched a
cannot
lot of
speak
it.
to that.
I've watched a lot of Shenmue 3. Personally, Ratchet's more appealing to me than Shenmue.
Ian and Jones, I need you in on this. I need your
Was the
perspective.
third
Yeah, I
one?
think Shenmue's right in the middle there.
Shenmue 3 is the third one. Knack 2 is in the middle.
Yeah, I think Knack 2's on the bottom and
Yeah, that
Ratchet's
seems
on
right.
top and Shenmue's just nestled where it should be.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have experience with any of these
At
games
mid.
really.
That seems like a consensus.
Yeah.
Man, Knack 2? Real bummer for me.
What did you
It's
expect?
a 7 though.
I
It's
expected
fine.
a sequel to Knack.
Isn't that what you got?
I don't know. I like Knack more than Knack 2.
Oh, okay.
There's something I want to say about Knack 2.
Yeah.
And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Most of the time when I'm playing games with you guys, I'm having a great time, and time flies by.
Yeah.
I felt every fucking minute of that Knack 2 playthrough.
Full playthrough.
I was like, it might be the most like checked out and like agitated
Dude,
I've ever
I
been
skipped
during
that
a
full
stream.
playthrough. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Brad, Knack 1
I played it.
has an
I
incredible
did not
conclusion.
finish it.
Okay.
I got bored.
You're in this ancient temple. Knack's growing huger than ever. He's got purple in him now. Knack 2?
Spoilers.
Knack 2,
Yeah, I
forget
know.
about
What
all
the
that.
hell, man?
Knack 2, forget about all that. We're not going to do any of that cool stuff at the end of this game. Okay. All right. So we have our
there's
grand
co-op.
finals. Here we go. So Group 1 is
Rage 2.
Rage 2 moved on from that one. Lawbreakers moved on from Group 2. And then from Group 3, Shenmue 3 moved on.
Oh.
So between Shenmue 3, Lawbreakers, and Rage 2, which one's the best?
I think Rage 2 is the middle one there, right?
Wait, which one's the best of those? Shenmue?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
I
Rage
didn't,
2 on top.
I didn't play it, but Rage 2 looked the most appealing, I guess, out of all those.
Brad, I cannot believe how much you're burying Shenmue today.
No,
What?
I think Shenmue's
That's
in the
not
middle.
bearing. I'm telling you what I would rather play.
Lawbreakers is the bottom, for
Yeah,
sure.
Lawbreakers is the bottom, Rage is the top, Shenmue 3 wins.
I mean, that is the
Shenmue
most
3 is the most 7 of 7s.
the purest answer.
I mean, isn't that
The most
boy,
7
isn't
of
that,
7s, sure.
Okay.
Do you disagree with that, Kyle?
Hurts.
that rings true
But
for
do you
me.
disagree with it?
I do, man. I got too many Chobus to give that game a 7.
What are you giving it?
A 7+? That's not how this game works.
I'd be maybe like an 8.1 for
Okay.
Shenmue 3.
Okay.
Wow. You haven't seen a lot of the game, though.
Yeah, maybe I missed too
I've
much.
seen a lot of the game.
I've seen a lot of Chobus. But congratulations to Shenmue 3.
Yay!
You
Hubert
are
would be pleased.
the 7est 7. Let's do one more little thing.
That's a box quote right there. The 7est 7.
Don't put that on your box. Don't do it. Hey, allies. I realize it's been a few weeks since this was announced, but the EVO 2020 lineup is interesting, to say the least. Yeah. Not only is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 back, but Mortal Kombat 11 has been cut. Since 2011, there has been a NetherRealm Studio game on the main stage at EVO, and every game has gotten at least 2 years in the spotlight. Does that speak to MK11's viability as an entertaining esport, or is there another factor to consider here? Love and respect, Sagittarius Cornwallis.
Something was said, as we like to joke around.
Yes, something was said.
I got some takes on this.
Oh.
Ben, please, please.
So, stipulation: I am not invested in Mortal Kombat at a competitive level.
Sure.
So my perspective is going to be very different from those that are. But I went in. Anytime I watch Mortal Kombat 11 competitively, and I enjoy playing the game, I am bored to tears. I don't think it's a fun game to watch. I don't think Injustice 2 is a fun game to watch. I think Mortal Kombat X was more, and I didn't even really like Mortal Kombat X that much. I think it was more fun to watch than either of these two things. And I just don't, I don't know. There is something about the matches that I have seen where there's just less raw energy. It's just sort of like things just kind of happen. Like there's not as many electric moments, I feel like, that other games have generated, and I'm not here to pinpoint why that is. I'm just giving very singular anecdotal evidence. But it doesn't really matter because I know a new NetherRealm game is down the pipe anyway. It's not like some of these other franchises where it's like, I don't know when I'm going to see this again. Like, it's coming soon.
Yes.
So I get that people are upset, and I think that is fair, and I think if you're really into it, I'm not saying that it's like wrong to be upset, but there's a cycle to these NetherRealm things that I think adds some sort of comfort.
I bet this is weird to WB, right? Because their games sell crazy.
Yeah.
Probably 5 times
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much as the other games it's put up against, right? I bet it's so frustrating. I bet they wonder, Ben, why they're not in esports. They invest, right? They have the tournaments.
Right.
They're
They
spending
just had one.
Yeah. So they're spending money on esports, but this thing that you're talking about, your gut, the eye test of is this entertaining to me is what they're failing. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, and I think Mortal Kombat is especially interesting because the base for Mortal Kombat is very, very broad. And I think there are many different pockets of Mortal Kombat players. Like, I think there are people who just care about, like, unlocking cool stuff and maxing out the customization. I think there are people that really get excited specifically about the fatalities. I think there are people that are really invested in the lore.
Yeah.
Don Casanova is one of those. And so,
Yeah.
so I think more so than other fighting games, and you do get different pockets of players in other fighting games, but I think Mortal Kombat is kind of the epitome for that, where a lot of people are there for things that aren't competitive fighting.
I think that's 100% right. And it's funny, they invest, right? The developers didn't think this would not. They didn't plan for this to fall flat on its face as an esport.
Yeah.
They assumed it would be an Evo 2 years. That's a safe assumption. All of our other games do. This one definitely will. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what they don't see. I wonder what, like, obviously they know they have this market and they appeal to the people who want a story clearly. I wonder what they mess up
I don't know,
when it comes to competitive.
NBC 2, just too sweet to pass up.
Yeah. Just copy NBC.
Like, people get excited. about
I don't think they're doing MVC2 the right way.
How it works?
Yes.
Like the 8 players?
Well, it's an invitational.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
four
And I think it should be. I think it should
invited.
be open. I think that would be more exciting.
I think, Ben, we're there for the stars. I think that's why it's invitational.
But I've seen those stars. Like,
Yeah,
you
man.
know what I mean? And that's awesome. And that's exciting. And they're probably going to get there anyway. I'm just saying, what if that's already going to happen and you're already going to see those people, why not make it open?
If it's-
and gets potentially new stories.
if it's two 14-year-olds I'd never heard of before, I'm out.
no, that's
I don't want to
no.
watch those two 14-year-olds.
Dude, wait a minute. Think about what you're saying for like 1
I
second.
don't want to watch you 14-year-olds.
What 14-year-old is entering MVC2? Okay, that's where I want to stop you. And if he is, that's a feat in of itself.
Yeah. I mean,
Come on.
stick to Smash.
Does Evo? Don't let
That
don't
was
let
a
him do
burn
it.
on
Ben,
multiple
don't let him do it.
levels. That was amazing. That was a
was
burn on
amazing.
multiple levels. Does that kid
Evo,
shower?
Does Evo want a sense of like scandal every year? Like, do they kind of court that? Does that work well for them? Should people be like,
Jones. I love this. I love
and
this.
they're like, ha, 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 you
because
know,
it kind of is that. It's like we're legit.
yeah. Like
MK11
why? Like
not
have they
legit.
said why MVC came back? Like is it
It's
is
the
it
20th.
is it the kind of
Yeah,
is
it's
it like
anniversary,
us?
yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
anniversary,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or is that, I just wonder if that stuff's us, like, when we set up group streams, we're just like, yes, there are things that make sense that a lot of people would like, but there's just the stuff that we want to do.
Yeah.
Is it like, how personal is that? Is there stuff that, do they know 2-3 years down the line? Okay, let's not bring this game back for a couple more years, but then it needs to come back. How upfront are they about that? Do they have a stream or a
They have a
blog
stream
or
where they
something that
announce
goes up that
everything.
they're like, here's why we pick these things.
Yeah.
Here's what we want them to do with the show, or
They exactly have that, actually.
oh, okay.
A point that I do think is worth mentioning, and it's just a guess, is I wonder if they're looking at year-over-year entrants as well, where, like, I wonder if they're looking at something like Street Fighter and Tekken or Smash, and, like, we're retaining a super healthy percentage, but maybe for, like, Injustice 2, there was a huge drop-off from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah.
And so maybe that was going into it where it's like, well, we don't expect, nearly as many people to be going in this year, just spitballing.
Yeah, sure.
But in the thing you talked about, they'll talk about the stuff that's going to be in Evo. They won't talk about the things that aren't.
I
So
don't
we
think they. I don't
probably
think.
won't get an answer.
I
And
wonder.
if you're NetherRealm, if you're Ed, like, is this something you want to publicly talk about? Where you're like, we as a company are very disappointed, or it's just like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, you don't say we're disappointed. You don't talk about Evo. You talk about your own tournament that you're running. You have that. And I mean, what's so crazy about MK11? They're still supporting it. Spawn's still coming as DLC.
It looks awesome.
Right.
And is this going to affect? Does Evo affect sales? Do they see a bump
Do they do sales
in Mortal
during
Kombat
it?
because of Evo, or?
I wonder. I mean, Street Fighter 5 does sales and like bonuses, but there's got to be a little bump, Jones.
I think there's probably a little.
There's a
bit.
lot of people watching live, but I'm kind of with Ben here. I don't think MK11's primary audience is the esports audience.
Well, and to be perfectly clear, and I am not defending this. I don't buy into this, but I think it exists. NetherRealm has not always gotten a lot of respect from the fighting game community. It is kind of much like Smash in a lot of ways. It's been kind of seen as this other, and I don't think that is right. I don't agree with it. I think it's just old and tired a lot of times, but I think there is kind of that lingering sense still. I think you see it manifest.
Sure. Do you foresee there being a NetherRealm game that gets it right, gets esports right? Is it a fun to watch competitive game?
I don't know, because I think a fun to watch competitive game might turn away the other people.
Yes. I'm kind of with you. I get it.
I think you got to find a balance.
Yeah, I can't say they're doing anything wrong, really. It's time for bets. Next week's bet. Look, I know we just did one of these. I couldn't resist. Here's why. MLB The Show 20 will be released on Tuesday, March 17th. I'm going to look at the top 10 most recent reviews on OpenCritic. How many times will I see the word Astros? Brandon Jones.
0. Why not? None.
The reason why not is because there obviously will be at least one.
No, not in that 10 though.
Okay.
You could,
Sure.
you could just get the 10 that didn't do it.
All right.
Those have to be like the best Easy A podcast moments.
When I'm mad at Jones for his bets.
when you like want to swallow it but you can't.
Yep. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Ben.
4.
Bradley Ellis.
0.
Oh,
come on.
What are you gonna do? You got teams like the LA Dodgers and those cheaters, the Houston Astros.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't think they'll do that.
Guarantee there's some review who's just like, and you can fulfill your little wishes with the Astros. Anyway, I was 6. Ian
Which
Hink.
reviews are you?
You were 6. You are 6.
The most recent.
I feel like Kyle knows more about sports than we do.
No.
Kyle don't know nothing.
No.
He don't know nothing.
Ian.
I said 1. I boxed him out.
yeah,
Okay. Let me lock that in. Last week's bet, Ian, I'll need you on this one live.
Okay.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps released on Wednesday, March 11th. We are recording this on March 12th. How many viewers will the game have on Twitch right now at this moment? Brandon Jones, you said 15K. Damiani bet 2K. Bloodworth bet 11K. I bet 7,949. Ian, you bet 20K.
Oh.
How many viewers does it have? 27.3. Click on that. Who's streaming?
Damn.
Fextra Live, 19K.
Extra Life. Oh my God, the next closest has 17 viewers. There's
Oh,
49
I
viewers.
think I think because it plays who's ever on their website. It plays their stream automatically. I think.
Extra Life put it over. There's not anybody close to 100.
Everyone else
We're
is
96.
like 255 is the
388.
next tallest. Yeah,
Yeah.
388.
Wow.
Wow.
I should have looked at the Extra Life schedule.
Yeah.
Ian, you crushed that one.
This one has 3K.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Wait, so
Celibate.
sort by number of viewers then.
Like it kind of does it automatically.
No, it's recommended
Right.
for you.
Okay, got
I
it,
don't
got it,
like
got it.
when Twitch does that.
High to low.
High to low.
Yeah.
2.8.
That's
Okay,
still
yeah.
a huge
500.
19, 2.8. That's a
Yeah.
huge drop off.
Can you click on Extra Life and what is that?
It's like
They're a wiki.
almost like a wiki. Yeah, wiki site.
Like, if you Google, like, where's this thing in
Spoilers,
Dark
I don't see
Souls?
It's not like a charity.
No.
This is a good looking game.
Extra Life is a charity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Fextra Life is like a wiki for hard games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a very popular Twitch channel at the same time.
This is the first I've seen it.
They play their stream if you're on their website. I think it counts you automatically. So if you're on the website, you get views, I believe.
We should do that with EasyAllies.com. A lot of eyeballs on EasyAllies.com.
Yeah, and get like 10 views.
Dude, we can't even get the audio right on a stream.
Yeah,
We're
what
not
are you
ready
talking
for that
about?
kind of technology.
That brings our totals to Gorgeous Gorillas 5,
Ah.
Sick Owls 3.
Coronavirus, Al.
That was a death rattle owl.
Yeah, that's a death rattle. Patreon.com/EasyAllies would be the website you would want to go to if you want to learn more about the Easy Allies and how to support the Easy Allies. Excuse me.
Easy.
Now I heard it's very normal to swallow throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like that's just something humans do. Isn't that
Right.
gross? Why are you swallowing all the time?
What?
Why are you swallowing all the
I
time?
mean,
Because your body creates liquids.
humans do a lot of gross things.
just let it glide.
Shut up. Let it glide.
Let it glide.
Let's just glide out of your mouth.
That's what Milo does.
Yeah.
Let it glide.
Milo doesn't worry about anything.
Baby's got it right.
Can you take a picture of Milo and caption it? Let it glide.
Let it glide.
Let it glide. Let it glide.
Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Any patron $1 and up gets a no commercials version of this podcast, ad free. And any patron $5 and up gets this podcast 2 days early. You get it on Fridays as opposed to Sundays. Who is in this? Oh, Ian, you're in your own seat.
I'm in my seat.
Before I hand it off to you, Ian, congratulations, but we must do shout outs.
Shout out to Elthanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, Will Schmuck, and Mr. One Luigi.
Shout
Shout. That was a weird one.
All right, one more. It's after you hear the word shout, that's when you say shout. Here we go. Shout.
Shout out.
Yeah, it was like a caterpillar. Just munching on a leaf.
Just click on.
Yeah.
Shout.
Sure.
Munching on a leaf.
Ian,
Hi.
you get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get to have the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
I am at Ian Hink, Hinck. Please watch the upcoming episode of Mysterious Monsters on Monday, the whateverth, 16th, with Lawrence and Bruce from Nay Funhouse. They're not there anymore, but
Confirmed 16th.
and Damiani, thank you. Final word. Gee, I don't know. Just wash your hands. You know, and good night and good game.
I was told once that I was classically barrel-chested. And I was like, what is...